Our research title is Gratitude Journal, Expressive Writing and Mindfulness. We will begin our presentation from introduction part. So, we choose students as a subject for our research because they often suffer from stresses. So students often face personal, social, academic, economical stress, etc. And according to Han and Ensenberg, there is an increase in the number of students experiencing mental health problems at various colleges. And this is in line with survey conducted by Albertina et al. In 2019 that 43.4% of 212 psychological students at University Indonesia said that what makes them stress is the activity of the lectures. There are several ways to solve regarding this condition, and one of the intervention that can be done to process emotion by individual is by expressing their emotion through writing whenever they experience stress. It is known also as expressive writing. According to several researchers, we found that writing down emotional experiences can decrease negative emotions possessed by individuals. There are also another way to cope with stress, to create a gratitude journal. So gratitude or counting blessing is defined as a distinctive pleasant feeling that arises when receiving kindness, a benefit, or altruistic help from others, especially things that are not actually worth of acceptance, which are things that are not caused by self-effort. And there are several benefits of gratitude journal, such as improve one happiness and positive moods. Those two concepts, expressive writing and gratitude, relate to mindfulness. Mindfulness is an approach to raise awareness and respond to mental processes that contribute to emotional distress and maladaptive behavior. Based on this, mindfulness can bridge relations between gratitude and expressive writing and life satisfaction. However, there have not been many studies on this topic, especially in Indonesia. Therefore, we want to conduct the study, and the question of the study was whether gratitude journaling and expressive writing influence mindfulness. Method and materials. So we conducted the experimental study. For a study involving 72 students who grouped into experiment and control group, students in the experimental group were asked to write down the positive things that happened in life, such as what to be grateful for today, what to expect for tomorrow, and a random question regarding positive things in life. Journaling will be done for 2 weeks. It was done 3 times. The second study involving 23 students who were also grouped into experiment and control group. Students in the experimental group were asked to write their emotional experiences for 25 until 30 minutes a day, 4 times in a week. In this writing, students did not to pay attention to writing structure, but they were expected to expand and explore their deepest experiences and emotions. What was of concern was the use of words that contain negative emotional content, as well as positive one. In the first and second study, the participants from both groups should fill out a questionnaire, state mindfulness questionnaire at the end of the session to find out their mindfulness condition after getting the treatment. Result and discussion. So this is the study one result. The results show that there was no effect of gratitude journal on mindfulness, and this was in line with the mean between experimental group and control group that were not much different. And it's this result for second study. So there was no expressive writing effect on mindfulness. However, the effect size indicated 0.7, which was in the moderate category. This was in line with the mean of a larger experimental group than the control group. So the experimental group got 78 and the control group got 72. Study one did not show the effect of gratitude on mindfulness. Both the experimental and control group got relative similar average. And this is in line with the information from Liborski and Rayos. We stated that gratitude intervention has an unstable effect. Study 2 shows similar results. So that expressive writing had no effect on mindfulness. However, it was interesting that the experimental group average mindfulness was higher than the control group, and the effect size, according to Cohensky, stated that there were moderate effects. So we thought that this is in line with Erickson stated that intervention that can be administered over the internet at this low cost show that it can prevent and reduce physical and emotional symptoms. So we thought that the benefit for expressive writing can be considered. Mindfulness accepts thought, emotion, and sensation that arise from consciousness in the present without giving judgment. So in other words, mindfulness encourages a person to accept reality for what it is, both negative and positive. We thought that this is in line with expressive writing, where participants are asked to write down what they feel, which is not always a form of negative emotion. Thus, expressive writing encourages participants to say reality as it is. And by releasing those emotions, participants avoid rumination and increase mindfulness. When expressive writing emphasizes the disclosure of what is felt, negative and can also be positive. Gratitude journal emphasizes more on the disclosure of positive effects. This may make the negative effect that participants actually feel unexpressed, which ultimately is not resolved. In this case, the participant did not learn how to accept this negative effect. This is in line with Penbaker and Jung stated that expressive writing is thought to be helpful to express suppressed thought, emotion, and give opportunity for exposure to unpleasant emotions. And this is different from gratitude journal, which is focusing on positive aspects of life rather than allowing to be overwhelmed by negative events. This doesn't raise the mindfulness of the participant. But however, this argument still needs further study. So the conclusion for our research is writing in journal has no impact on increasing mindfulness. However, there was a moderate effect size in participants who received expressive writing treatment, which needed further study involving larger sample. So future study can also consider the characteristic of the sample to study. So not just student, but in more general sample. So we can get a better picture. Thank you. And any question?